I was in a 2.5-month dieta. I was living in a jungle hut without any electricity or running water, and I was going to ayahuasca ceremonies every 2 to 3 nights, sometimes every other night. And I was in a deep process. And one night I was on my way to ceremony, and I found myself in an altered state and in a deep vision. And before me was a beautiful woman with her head to the earth. And I knew that she was one of the first medicine women that was walking on this earth, on this planet. And I watched her, and the plants were talking to her and singing to her and teaching her how to heal and help the people in her village, as there were some people in her village who had become sick. And at some point she looked up at me and she caught my eyes, and we stared into each other's eyes for a moment. And then I was spiraling through the universe and found myself in this circle of women from all around the world. But there was a shadow cast over their faces and over them. And as I sat in the stillness of this dark place, in this circle, one woman stood up, and she raised up her hands to the heavens, and she opened her mouth and her throat, and out of her heart came this great love, and she offered the deepest gift inside of her. And this energy from inside of her turned into light and touched everyone in the circle, all of the women, with the shadows cast over them. And then another woman stood up, and she stood in her truth and her strength and her power. And she stood up with great love inside. And that light also began to touch the circle. And one by one, every woman stood up in the circle, fearless, standing up for what was right and true, standing up against greed and hate and anger and injustice, standing up with love in their hearts. And as I watched this whole vision unfold before me, I was crying, and I knew inside of me that this was true. And then I watched the earth begin to spin before me, and a great healing took place upon the planet as all these women stood up in all of what they were and shared their gifts and their light. And I understood that the world that we are in right now is in a deep need of a reharmonizing and a rebalancing of the masculine and feminine energies. And the earth that we are living in actually needs this. It needs us as women to step up and offer our light in order for a change to happen. When we drink ayahuasca, there is a great potential for us to fall in love with our planet in a completely new way. And it is a space and time for us to come into the remembrance of that great light that lives inside of each of us.